Today's video is using wire netting to create a gorgeous, sustainable and environmentally friendly design. Welcome back to some quick and easy designs to do for Christmas, although this one might be a bit more complicated than the designs I've done before. My plan today was to use one of my vintage containers. This is the lovely Dartmouth vase, but I have thought that maybe you can't get hold of anything like this. So what I'm going to use instead is one of these boat-shaped containers. You will have seen me arrange with one of these quite a few times on the channel, but these are still available in lots of shops and lots of home decor shops, and you can pick them up quite reasonable at local charity shops. So I'm going to use this one instead, and this is probably a better colour combination because I'm going to reuse those twigs that you saw me use in this design here, or this video here, and the colour is going to link better with my container. So this one is more earthy toned, far more natural, doesn't use any flowers at all, but items that I foraged for or those that I can get hold of as a florist. Plus I've got a couple of cones and some lovely feathers, and I'm going to do a design in wire netting. It's been formed into a sausage shape, and that's going to sit inside my container, and I am going to use some floral tape to make sure that doesn't slide around or fall out of my container. But then I have to be quite mindful of ensuring that I have that tape covered. And sometimes on the videos, if you're new to one of these videos, the camera angle is slightly different to the position I'm looking at it from, and sometimes I forget that I have to work harder to cover the tape. So let's just cut that smaller because that was a bit too long. But I'm going to get inspired by the shape of my container. It's one of my favourite styles of arranging, and I'm going to come across in this position here. So really I'm replicating that curved banana shape of my container. Now I have been asked in previous tutorials, how would you use a candle if you were using wire netting? You don't need that plastic cap on the bottom. But what you would need to do is to spend a bit of time inserting your candle through the wire netting, like so that it doesn't wobble. But you need to be really mindful that that isn't going to move around and risk the foliage catching fire. But that would be my method. If anybody's got a different version of that, then I would love to hear it. But that's how I would do it. And then once my wire netting is nice and secure in there, I can add some water. Fresh water with flower food added. If you can see silver flecks of paint in there, then that's from my candle. That wasn't there originally. But that's going to give me a support network to start putting my branches in. And I really do love, this is beech, and I do like the way that the leaves start to die back and they curl and furl up as we move into the winter. And I'm just going to feed it through the wire netting so that it gives me the start or the outline of my floral design. What we will find with this arrangement is that these end pieces will do exactly what they did there. They'll twist over until there is a more substantial amount of foliage in there. It's fed through the wire netting, but there's not enough material also in the wire netting to stop it rotating. Normally when I do a wire netting design, I start with the foliage at the base first, but because I want to get that shape in, oh, it's being really stubborn, because I want to get that curved shape in, I'm going to place it in first. And the beauty of wire netting, if you've watched my videos before, you'll know not only is it environmentally friendly, but you can take things out, move them around and replace them if you don't like the position that they're in. And I'm not going to cut this any shorter. I'm just going to make sure there's no debris here below the water level, and then the water isn't going to get contaminated, and that has created a nice curve shape, and I can work on correcting that later on. And then all I'm going to do is feed through the foliages that I used in those two previous designs, and that will help support that branch more efficiently. I don't want to bring too much heavy greenery to the outside edge because I don't want it visually heavy on the outside, and if I can, I want to try and exaggerate that curve, so any pieces of pine or eucalyptus that have that natural curve in it, they're going to work in that position, so they're continuing that shape all the way through from one side to the other. And I'm making this facing you, so I'm hoping that it looks as nice from the front as I'm hoping it is. The curved material like this works so well to help create any crescents, Hogarth curves, any designs that you want that natural curve to it. Does really help. I just want to make sure that there is nothing, no debris, no leaves, no pine needles below the level of my water. Now I know from feedback that we get from the different types of videos that lots of people find arranging in wire netting really hard because the materials move around. So if it's your first time doing anything in wire netting, don't panic, take your time and keep readjusting as you go along. It's not going to be perfect first time round, but you'll almost feel everything lock into position, and then you'll know it's all secure. But you can see as I'm adding more material, it's moving around slightly, and maybe not as stable as you're used to when you're arranging. If you're somebody that really loves foraging and looking for exciting materials, then this design is going to be perfect for you. But if you're somebody that loves symmetry, balance, matching flowers on either side, then you might not appreciate this quite as much as I do. But this style of arranging is quite relaxing and quite calming. And now I've got that outline shaping, I'm going to compact my greenery more towards the base there to start holding everything into place. And then I'm going to turn it round. Hopefully it's going to look all right from the front. Well, I'm generally quite pleased with how that's turned out. I haven't added any extra foliage in. It's the same quantity of foliage that I had in that first design where I placed it in that little storage jar. What I haven't used yet is the pussy willows, but the smaller pieces of eucalyptus that I cut off can go down low. Now I can introduce my pussy willow, and obviously if you were making this design without recycling flowers, then you might have some longer pieces, but I'm going to use what I had from that previous design. And I've made this as a front facing arrangement. You could do this for the centre of the table and make it all round so that there's interesting material at the back as well, but I'm facing all this textured material towards the camera, and there's nothing of interest at the back where I'm looking at the arrangement from. It's just some greenery there to cover my mechanics. Now I'm not planning on adding any glitzy material in there. I'm keeping this quite natural, quite neutral, very organic, but I am going to add in these amazing pheasant feathers, which again connect really well with my container. Now if you do happen to have a fishmonger's, sounds a bit bizarre, or a local butcher that sells pheasants for Christmas, there's a good chance they will also be able to get hold of pheasant feathers for you as well. So if you haven't already got some and you would like to invest in some, then see if they can get hold of them for you, because that tends to be where I get a lot of my feathers from this time of the year when it's the season for the pheasants. On one of the branches there was already a little cone, and what I'm going to do here is add in just some extra visual weight at the front there to make a more dominant part of the arrangement, and I'm just going to cluster those together at the front. I don't feel the need to add any synthetic materials in there, any glitzy or sparkly items. I'm going to leave that really quite natural. Other than the pussy willows, which were from a supermarket, everything in that design is completely foraged. It's an environmentally friendly and sustainable design, And I'm hoping that you might be able to get some inspiration from this design to create something for Christmas, and think about not spending any money on your floral design. Now, if you're new here, my name is Sharon. I should have welcomed you at the beginning, but please subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell to be told every time I upload a new tutorial. Like and comment in the box and share with as many people as you possibly can. I hope you've enjoyed that one. I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Thanks for watching and goodbye for now.